Right then. So the left-hand one then, John, was your before. As we said, feet aiming way off to the left there, which is going to restrict that hip turn. You said you've already got a restriction in your right shoulder. Your shoulders anyway in limited hip and shoulder rotation. So to help the shoulders move as much as they can and give you that space, and to ensure that the body is taking responsibility of the club going around and the arms can do their job of lifting, we need to get this foot back.
Even there, it's
exactly, yeah. And that's after we kind of adjusted you a little bit, okay? You'll see in a second on that other video when you go through your routine, how when you step back to the golf ball, okay, your initial kind of step in the golf ball puts you with open club face, okay? Open feet, sorry. So as you went back there now, because your body couldn't rotate, you got it to kind of about there, okay? Now from here, your torso's moved kind of as far as it can. The club's got to get behind you. If your arms lift from here now, it's going to go way too steep. So you take your left arm in your hands now, and you sort of take it behind you. The club doesn't get anywhere near above your shoulder. The club's at this point now laid off, very close, very stuck behind you. It's going to be coming in from somewhere in this direction, okay? Now, if the right hip hasn't got out of the way, purely because it can't get out of the way, the arms have got nowhere to go when they come back to the golf ball, so now they've got to start swinging out to the golf. See, your right hip's coming, your right elbow's coming into your hip there now. Well, you're stuck, you're tucked up there now. There's a lot of daylight between your hands and arms. Club's coming in from the inside, off the hosel, and then you try and flick the hand at the last second. You sort of see your knees sort of chasing after the shot because they can't really get out of their own way. They're sort of trying to play catch up. It doesn't really kind of work with any sort of smooth transition, okay? So the right hand one now, this is the drill that we're talking about there. Getting the sensation that your right hip, getting some daylight between your legs, there you can see your knees there as you go back. So you're taking the golf club back as steep as you can. You lost a bit of balance there, just so you can see where you're turning. Obviously now when you're moving in a different position, your awareness of your balance is going to be different, yeah? You've been used to kind of going forwards and doing this and going backwards. We're trying to really get a sensation that we're turning into this right heel, okay? So you can see there when you step to that golf ball, look at your feet. Then I brought your foot back, okay? That there, look at your, just making that practice and how open your feet are. Yeah. How are your hips going to turn there? If the hips are restricted, you can't get the club behind you. And you know as a good golfer, the club shouldn't be up here somewhere. But if you lift your arms, that's where the club's going to go because this hasn't had the chance to get out of the way. And that's the key. It's creating space for you, John, so your arms can swing. So you got up here now to the golf ball. Even there, feet are still slightly open. Takeaway there is not too bad, okay? Then you squared yourself off there a bit better. The feeling now is making it that. If you can get to there, happy days. Now, okay, as I said, you've turned your head fully to do that, yes, which is obviously giving you a little bit more range of motion. In an ideal world, your head's not going to be facing back here because oh, where's the ball gone, okay? So we'd understand that it's going to be a little bit shorter than that in real life, but at least when you're making that swing in practice, you're getting the feeling. Look where that hip, I mean, you see that sort of little pocket there, your right hip, it's got behind you, yeah? You're starting to create some space now. Your arms could now fall down here, as we say, get back in front of you here. So the arms, when they work back down now, they can get back in front of your chest, and you would have some space now for the arms to work back in. See where your right elbow now has got plenty of space for your arms to swing, and if you do go back to the golf ball there now, you could swing through and follow through. Now, when the golf ball gets there, look at your first, you did your swing there, you step to the golf ball, club down there, feet, and then even though I think I said you're closed, and you went, okay, I can still see you, and then you went back to there again. Even there, you've still gone into a slightly open setup, haven't you? Because it's just you've just done that for, well, a while, to be fair. Maybe back in the summer when you started having the problem there, okay? And it's going. Then we said, okay, close your club face. Then even there, you go back there and you go, that can't be right. I'll put the foot forward a little bit more. It just wants to go forward here, and this foot wants to go back. That's going to be the biggest thing. So in practice, like I say, let's go to the other end of the spectrum.
Put me right
Hitch,
foot on me
exactly, yeah. Put a club on the ground. So when you're down Sanathan or down the range, have a club for your setup when you're setting up for the golf ball to make sure your feet are square. But have a secondary
club. I've got those
rods
rods as well.
Perfect, got the alignment, that's fine. Have a secondary setup where you're back over here somewhere and have that club on the ground aiming way to the right. Really shut yourself off and make some swings with that right heel back because it will really encourage that right hip going out of the way. So when you make the swing now you're in a squarer position. We're able to get that club up a little bit. I know it's a little bit laid off, but your arms are, at least your arms at that, if you look at that backswing position compared to where you were, I mean, at least your arms are getting above your head somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, they could go more. Would I expect them to go more than that in the first session? Probably not. Because as you saw, when you made a swing that was more upright, I mean, you missed the golf ball. I mean, if you move the hands from there to there, that's quite a big movement. Move them from there to there. Oh my God! I mean, you've got no idea where the club is. I mean, we moved them. Well, you've moved them maybe 8-9 inches.
Yeah.
You've got no idea where the club is. The club's in a completely different position to where you're used to.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing with the club anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know how the club's supposed to hit the ball.
Exactly, and that's the feeling
with
for you.
Swing.
Exactly, because when you got to here, you kind of knew where the club roughly was, and you were able to kind of manipulate it. But unfortunately, it's not really the way that you're going to have much success. And if you get it wrong, you're going to have 1 or 2 shots, that one there, or the old shoo off to the left. So getting those hands and arms up, pal, like I say, a good drill to practice at home against the wall. Left arm parallel to the ground about here. It's a good position there now. If there was a wall back here behind your feet, about a foot away from the wall, that club would be resting on the wall. As we continue the rotation, the club comes off the wall, and then we'd expect to be sort of pointing towards target there in a slightly more online position, okay? But at least when you come back, you've got space. Look where your arms, I can come back in front of you. Nice strike of the golf ball there now. You're able to rotate through the target. And I say you pulled it slightly, but it wasn't a big thing. Now you see you lost a bit of balance there just because you're not really sure kind of where your weight distribution is. And it's just that's going to come with practice. You're a good enough golfer, John. You spend time yourself, you enjoy practicing. And I'm sure you can get a few swings there. Use the wall drill, put the clubs on the ground, just make some swings at home, just trying to feel that movement, almost as extreme as possible. Close stance, big hip turn, big lift with your arms. Do it at the exact opposite end of the spectrum from where you were, being open, no hip turn, flat, yeah? Just change it around the other way. And I would encourage, and people do, not everyone does, it's up to you, okay, but if you can do, when you are making swings, even if it's home in the garden, film them, send them back to me. Say, how's it look? I can just go back and go, actually, that's pretty good. Or I can go, ooh, you're still getting a bit flat. Or look at that left foot again. Because you might make some swings. And if you record it yourself, no doubt you'll probably watch it back first before you send it. Oh, gosh, my left foot's gone. I'll do it again. Yeah? You'll kind of make sure you do it better each time. Because you want to send the work back into your teacher. I'll send them in. Oh, I'll have that. I'll do it again.
Your details.
That's fine. I can send them all the details. So that's fine, yeah. So we'll do all that, okay? So you'll kind of get into a position where you start working and eventually start learning, or relearning, should we say, because you know where the club was, but relearning where that club is now, yeah? From a different position, and just give yourself space. That's the overall sort of summary from today's session, is giving you space. You've lost the space with your arms because you were open with the feet, no hip turn, arms were responsible then for taking the club behind you, got stuck, nowhere to go, and your arms just tried to manipulate the club as best you could. And every now and then you got pretty good at it. Stepping away from the ball, start from the toe, gave you about 3 inches of leeway, but on occasion you did 3.5 inches, and it wasn't enough, and you shank it. So.
And the shorter the club, the worse it is.
Exactly. You can't stand that far from the ball with a wedge, can you? With a 4 or 5 iron, you don't mind being a bit further back from the ball. When you got a wedge in your hand, you're like, I can't stand this far from the ball. The club's not long enough, is it? So you'd always be closer. Okay.
100 yards in with a wedge is trepidation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And especially at your level, even up 30, I mean, when you're whatever handicap, when you're down to 5, that's a scoring zone for you. That should be 20 foot at most, and looking for birdies and making pars and stuff.
Minimum of par.
Exactly.
Or maximum of par.
Exactly. Yeah. Does that make sense then, yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. Good stuff. Right.